Long before humans touched the sea, an ancient world existed beneath the endless waves. It was a realm of beauty and order, where silence itself carried the weight of old magic. Every current, every shadow, obeyed laws older than memory. Among this hidden world lived a being shaped by the ocean's deepest sorrow. She carried a presence born from centuries of solitude and restraint. Above her world, the surface ocean began to stir with unfamiliar unrest. Storms gathered, not by chance, but as a warning of something breaking. Far above the waves, a lone man faced a fate he could not foresee. When the sea claimed him, it was not an accident, but a calling. And as he sank into the depths, something long sealed began to awaken. Drawn upward by a force she does not understand, the mermaid senses a disturbance beyond the ancient laws of the sea. The water above grows violent, as if the ocean itself is losing control. At the forbidden boundary, hesitation clashes with a pull she has never felt before. From the darkness, broken remains of a human world begin sinking into her realm. Among the falling debris drifts a man suspended between life and death. She recognizes that saving him would mean breaking the laws that define her existence. The ocean holds its breath, waiting for a choice that cannot be undone. Defying centuries of restraint, she moves toward the falling man without turning back. The moment their paths cross, the balance of the sea begins to fracture. Far below, an ancient force awakens, aware that the seal has been broken. Against the will of the sea, she pulls him away from the depths that were meant to claim his life. The ocean responds violently as ancient currents twist in anger around them. Shadows stir in the distance, drawn to a mistake that should never have happened. Time stretches as his life hangs between breath and silence. Knowing the cost, she releases a forbidden power meant for no human soul. Light spreads through the water, unnatural and irreversible. Far beyond her sight, something ancient senses the disturbance and begins to stir. The deep realm trembles as if the ocean itself feels pain. Life returns where it does not belong, breaking every law that once held firm. In that moment, she understands the sea will never forgive her choice. She leads him through hidden passages, knowing every step deeper binds their fates more tightly together. Ancient structures respond, glowing faintly as the sea acknowledges a change it cannot ignore. His breath returns in fragments, sustained by forces never meant for a human body. She watches closely, sensing something within him beginning to resonate with the depths. The water distorts, reacting to a presence that does not belong, yet refuses to fade. Far below, unseen watchers stir, drawn by imbalance and the promise of consequence. He begins to stir, touched by a connection older than his own memories. In the darkness, ancient eyes observe, patient and indifferent to mortal survival. She positions herself between him and the abyss. Accepting a danger she fully understands, the sea falls silent, preparing to reclaim what has been taken against its will. She brings him into a sanctuary long hidden, hoping the depths can still conceal her mistake. Ancient symbols awaken, recognizing a presence never meant to cross this threshold. His body responds, as if the sea itself is reshaping what he was. She realizes his survival is no longer temporary, but something far more dangerous. Distant currents collide, carrying warnings through the stone and water alike. The sea calls its guardians, unwilling to ignore the broken balance any longer. He opens his eyes, unaware that his breath now comes at a terrible cost. Darkness spreads through the sanctuary, stripping away the illusion of safety. She stands between him and the approaching abyss, knowing there will be no escape. In the silence that follows, judgment begins to take form. Pressure builds as the sea tightens its grip, signaling that mercy is no longer an option. He struggles to understand where he is, suspended by forces beyond human reason. She realizes the ocean is no longer ignoring him, but beginning to recognize him. Currents converge, turning the sanctuary into a slowly closing trap. Something within him responds, awakening to the call of the depths. Ancient markings flare, confirming a truth she has long feared. Unseen entities move closer, patient and inevitable. She steps forward to shield him, choosing defiance over safety. The water compresses, as if the sea itself is preparing judgment. With a sudden fracture, the sanctuary's protection finally collapses. The sanctuary breaks apart, unable to contain what the sea has set in motion. Currents tear through the ruins, dragging him toward an uncertain fate. She pulls him free from the collapse, refusing to let the ocean decide alone. In the surrounding darkness, immense forms move, no longer hiding their interest. Power surges through the depths, ancient and unmistakably alive. His body reacts violently, awakening to forces buried far beyond human memory. She realizes the sea is no longer hunting him, but calling him. The waters settle into a vast stillness, as if preparing for revelation. Side by side, they stand at the center of the ocean's attention. And in the abyss below, something ancient finally turns its gaze toward him. The ocean falls completely still, as if every current is now listening. At the center of this silence, he is no longer treated as an intruder. Ancient forces begin to move, forming patterns older than memory. She senses that the sea has made a decision that cannot be reversed. Light gathers around him, lifting him gently from the pull of chaos. Below, the abyss opens, revealing a depth meant for only one purpose. She drifts closer, realizing the sea is not condemning him, but claiming him. He remains calm, as though he finally belongs where he stands. The currents lock into place, sealing an ancient configuration once lost. Deep beneath them, the ocean accepts its chosen bearer once more. The sea reshapes itself around him, marking him as the center of its final intent. Threads of ancient light descend, aligning the ocean's will with his fate. He remains still, as the power of the depths settles into him without resistance. She understands that what is happening can no longer be stopped. The currents slow into ritual silence, as if the sea is preparing a farewell. He begins to descend, guided gently toward a purpose chosen long before his birth. She follows at a distance, knowing this is the closest she can be. The abyss opens wider, revealing a depth meant only for sacrifice. He continues downward, fully accepting the role the ocean has reclaimed. Above him, the convergence dissolves, leaving only the path to an ending that cannot be undone. At the edge of the abyss, he reaches the point where no return is possible. She stops at the boundary, knowing this is where their paths must finally divide. Ancient structures awaken, revealing the true heart of the ocean's design. She watches as the sea begins to seal its mechanism around him. Without fear, he accepts the role that was always meant to be his. The waters stabilize as the ancient seal completes its final purpose. Her glow fades as the ocean takes what it needs and leaves her behind. The abyss closes, erasing him completely from the living world. Above, the sea grows calm, as if the storm had never existed. And beneath the silence, his sacrifice restores a balance that will never be broken again.